Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And if you haven't heard the news, if you've just maybe gotten home from work, well, it's a little early for most people who aren't teachers like me, but the news of the day is that France has fallen in a shocking development. French lawmakers voted to oust Prime Minister Francois Bayrou Monday, plunging the country into a political crisis that's leaving it without a government at a time when their economy is strained and geopolitically there is tremendous amounts of tension within that country. A total of 364 MPs voted against Bayrou and 194 voted for him after he called for a vote in a bid to push through an unpopular bill or an unpopular plan that would cost the country 44 billion euros that would scrap 2 public holidays and freezing government spending. The 364 votes against Bayrou were well above the 280 vote threshold needed to topple the government. And this is, let me tell you something, this is what we need in the United States. We need stuff like this. We need to have votes like this. We need to have politicians, if they suck, we need to have like these mandatory emergency votes where they get ousted if they stink. Presidents, Congress people, senators, because these in these European countries, these people are not career politicians. They know that they have to kiss ass all the time in order to stay in power. In the United States, we don't have that. You know, you could be president for 8 years and not do shit and ruin the country. 4 years of Joe Biden destroyed this country. 8 years of Barack Obama destroyed this country. And Trump hasn't done any better, no matter what the Trumpers say. But we should have evolved into this sort of government that's for the people themselves. The United States always says, well, we're the world leader. Our way of doing things is better than everybody else. No, it's old. It's over. Look at the people that we have in office today. You have these ghetto, ratchet people that are screaming and yelling in the halls of Congress, pulling fire alarms, corrupt, literally stealing money, working for foreign governments, and nobody does shit about it. They continue to stay on their high horses, and they keep voted in and voted in and voted in. And that's the American people's fault too. But the French are showing us that they're not going to take this anymore. Bayrou will now be Bayrou, I guess, will now be forced to step down after just 9 months in office, following in the footsteps of his predecessor, Michel Barnier, who lost a no-confidence vote last December. France is in deep trouble. They keep putting in these people who are incompetent. They're not worth a shit. And they're flooding that country with Middle Easterners and Sub-Saharan Africans. If you look at the French national team, there isn't a white person on that team. It's absurd. And if you look at the streets of France, I'd been to France a few times in the 1990s. It was beautiful. It's like top 3 of the most beautiful cities I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot. Not anymore. Now, French President Macron will name a new prime minister in the coming days, according to the Élysée Palace. But Bayrou's departure leaves Macron with few palpable options. The French are not going to stop here. I have a video here. It's not the best quality, but we're going to show it anyway, of these people from an opposing party who said that they are going to demand Macron's ouster. Now, the international markets, investors have been rattled by this whole thing. Yields on the French government bonds, or the interest rates demanded by investors have risen above those of the Spanish, and that's bad. The possible downgrade of France's sovereign debt rating review Friday could deliver a death blow to its economy, and its economic standing in Europe. When you bring the third world into your country, you become the third world. When you have weak, feeble leaders who they have special interests, those special interests are looking to destroy your culture, your civilization, your society. And that's what's happening here. France is a prime example of it. England is a prime example of it. I mean, and they have mayors in England now that are from Pakistan, Bangladesh, fucking, it's I mean, who votes these people in? They had a woman get sworn in. She got in England. I think it was in Birmingham or something. She used the Quran as her swearing in, and she pledged her loyalty and love to Allah, not to the people of England. They don't understand Western civilization. It's not theirs to understand. They're not supposed to. It's ours. Baru told lawmakers on Monday ahead of the vote, and I quote, "You have the power to bring down the government, but you do not have the power to erase reality. Reality will remain relentless. Expenses will continue to rise, and the burden of debt already unbearable will grow heavier and more costly," end quote. Baru then added, "We broke the social contract with the younger generations." The political instability can be tracked back to Macron's own dramatic decision last year to call a snap election. Oh God, these French names. I was writing this down. I hope I spelled this right. Piqued by the remarkable results of the far-right national rally in the European Parliament elections in May 2024, the French forced a vote in which his party lost seats to the far right and far left, leaving France with a splintered parliament. That's never good. France used to be a very volatile country through its history. They produced some of the greatest armies in all of human history. Of course, stupid Americans always point out to World War II. They were exhausted after World War II. And the Germans ran roughshod on them. But they fought. They were clearly the best army in the world during World War I. The only reason why the Allies won World War I was because of the French. Baru is expected to submit his resignation to Macron tomorrow morning, Tuesday, which also means that Macron will be able to name a new prime minister in the coming days. Armed Forces Minister Sébastien Lecornu and Justice Minister Gérald Darmanin are expected to be among the frontrunners for this likely call. Now, even before the vote, Baru's downfall sparked calls for the president to step aside, though he was vowed to serve out his term. Far right politician named Marine Le Pen, who I think she was arrested a couple of months ago, has demanded he dissolve his parliament. But fresh elections would almost certainly strengthen her party and fracture the French parliament further. The trouble for Macron is this. After 3 failed centrist prime ministers, the opposition parties are in no mood to give another one a chance. They've had enough. Both the far right and left have signaled that they would immediately call for a vote of no confidence if another such premier were appointed. So this guy, Macron, is he keeps putting in the same shit, and the French are sick of it. And they were right to be. And that's why they're demanding that he go, and he should. Naming a prime minister from another political camp is, in theory, an option, but a choice on the right would be blocked by the left. and vice versa. This is a disaster. This is chaos. France is in absolute chaos. Now, this prime minister, whoever he's going to be or she, the budget fight will be just as vicious. The socialists want to tax the rich and roll back Macron's tax cuts for businesses. All red lines to Les Républicains, the longstanding conservative party and key player in the coalition cobbled together after a snap election. The upshot is that France's fiscal mess is unlikely to be fixed anytime soon. You know, their fiscal mess compared to the United States financial mess is like nothing. The amount of debt that this country, the United States, is in is mind-blowing. It doesn't even seem real. It doesn't even seem possible. But what does the Federal Reserve do? They just print money. They just keep printing money. Just print the paper. That's all. Who cares? Who cares if a dollar today isn't worth 25 cents, 10 years ago? Now, in the event of another snap parliamentary election, a recent poll in France suggests that the National Rally would emerge on top, with the left coming in second and Macron's centrist bloc a distant third. Many now assume that the far right will eventually take power, if not now, then after the 2027 presidential elections. Though few believe such an outcome would ever solve the country's problems, it couldn't hurt. Now, the public's trust, much like here in the United States, has collapsed, and these people are in total anger, and it's set to spill out in the streets. The far left has called for a nationwide protest for Wednesday under the banner of, I'm not even going to try to pronounce what I wrote in French, "Let's block everything," with trade unions planning another mobilization on the 18th. All this comes at the worst possible moment. There are wars raging in the Ukraine and the Middle East. Instability in Paris is a gift to both Putin and Trump, who share a common delight in mocking Europeans' weakness. But Trump has his own problems here. I'm telling you, I think his presidency is an absolute failure. He has done absolutely nothing. And I don't want to hear any of this tariffs and trade shit. He hasn't done anything about this border. Violent crimes are up on the rise like a 13-year-old's dick. And I got to hear that this guy's doing great for America. You're out of your minds. All right, so here is, what's this chick's name here? This is, no, they don't give her a name. All right, guess she's not that important. But what she says is kind of true. And we're going to show what Le Pen said. I think that was, that wasn't a recent, but I want to show you what Le Pen's theories are and wishes are. And they don't sound too good for anybody who is a little darker than the average Frenchman. Here's this chick here.
What we did today, i.e. overthrow a government, is a victory for the popular mobilization during the summer. In 2 days, we will have a major movement. Tomorrow, we will ask for impeachment of Macron. The problem for the country is Mr. Macron. The day after tomorrow, we will be in the streets to block the country's economy, to say this is enough. What we did today.
So there they are. There's gonna be protests left and right. We're gonna definitely see.
Territoire des étrangers.
We're definitely gonna see violence. We're definitely gonna see chaos in the streets of France. Now, this is Marine Le Pen, right? She is dubbed the French savior, much like Giorgia Meloni is in Italy. And I'm gonna have you listen to her speech here, but I have to say, somebody has to do it. Somebody has to try to save Western civilization. But God damn it, where are the men? Why the fuck are these women having to step up? You saw the interview with that was another woman there. Where are the European men? You know, the guys who built this world? Where the fuck are they? I mean, listen, if we're gonna have to have women step up to the plate and do this stuff, and I don't agree with it, because I don't think it's a woman's place. But right now we're in a desperate situation. France is in a very desperate situation. I mean, they have Muslims and Africans running around those cities. They're attacking people left and right with impunity. They don't give a fuck. I saw a video the other day of a guy playing. He was a street performer playing the piano, and a Muslim guy came up to him and made him stop because it was against her music is haram. It's against Islam. I mean, what is this? What has happened over there? What has happened here? This is getting out of hand, and I'm telling you, there's going to be there will be a spark soon. I didn't think it would happen during my lifetime. I still have my doubts. I'm 50-50 now. But I'm starting to see this swell of people who are, it's no longer black fatigue or Muslim fatigue. It's not. They're fucking fed up. They want this over. They want these people out. And this is something that you will never hear an American politician say. She says it, and you have to read the subtitles, but this is amazing. And listen to the cheers she gets.
J'en appelle à la sagesse et au bon sens des Français. Qu'on me donne une raison, une seule, pour garder sur notre territoire des étrangers qui collaborent avec une idéologie totalitaire qui veut la mort des Français. Les binationaux en lien avec l'idéologie islamiste doivent être déchus de leur nationalité et expulsés. Les Français qui adoptent l'idéologie de l'ennemi doivent être traduits devant les tribunaux et punis. Les lois existent, il suffit de les appliquer. Eh bien, moi, Présidente, ces lois seront appliquées sans faiblir. En quelques semaines, je vous le promets, la France aura pris toutes les dispositions nécessaires pour se mettre à l'abri des fichiers S et en totale conformité avec notre état de droit. Les mosquées radicales seront fermées, les prêcheurs de haine expulsés, les associations faunées du salafisme et des frères musulmans seront dissoutes. Avec moi, ayez la certitude que les droits des femmes aujourd'hui contestés par l'obscurantisme islamiste seront garantis à toutes les femmes de France. Avec moi, la sécurité n'ira pas à l'encontre de la liberté, en tout cas de la liberté des honnêtes gens. Je veux le dire et le répéter.
Some pretty strong words. Some pretty big thoughts, big promises. Shut down all those mosques, expel every Islamic in there, and hopefully Africans too. But why is a woman saying this? Why is this just common sense coming from women? Again, like Giorgia Meloni in Italy is doing the same thing. And now we ask, the question begs, does this spread across Europe? Is this something that will spread to Germany, to Denmark, to Holland, to Belgium, to Spain, Switzerland? I mean, England, I think, is too far gone. I mean, the scary part is that England has nuclear weapons, and if they turn totally Islamic, then you're gonna have to they're gonna have to do something with NATO to go in there and get those things. You can't trust these people. They're sick. But the French have made the first big salvo, and their government is in chaos. They don't have a government at the moment. And there'll be protests, and there'll be protests for days. And I think Macron, I don't know if Macron is going to survive this. I don't believe that the French people want to give him any more leash to be able to pick another prime minister. I'm sorry, another president. He's already proven to be severely incompetent. And France is in big, big trouble. Big, 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 big trouble. And it's all because of the fact that they allowed foreigners in. That's it. I mean, you like I said, you bring in the third world, you get the third world. These white people, these Christians, these Catholics, they must get together, lock arm in arm, and fight this. And they can. They can end this in 6 months. Just get the military, round up these people who don't look like you, put them on a plane, put them on a boat, and send them to it. I don't even give a shit where you send them. Drop them off in Nigeria, let them find their own way home. Drop them, just airlift them to Iraq and just drop them off over there. Or maybe put them in Israel. Just right in the middle. The Israelis would love that. But something has to happen. Something's got to change. We can't keep having people being stabbed on trains and buses, people getting the shit kicked out of them, jumped by 55 people and get kicked in the head. We can't have people driving cars through Starbucks. We can't have, McDonald's or any of these restaurants getting trashed because somebody didn't get their fries were cold. It's got to end. There's got to be consequences, severe consequences. It takes a backbone to do it, though. And I don't know if we have it in this country anymore. I just don't. I see the way men present themselves, especially white men. We did a segment on that yesterday. And it's sad. It's sad how the white man has fallen. And if you look at Europe, I mean, they have women running these countries, and they make more sense than the guys. They have more balls than the guys do. So we're going to monitor this situation. We're going to keep up with it, see what happens over the next couple of days. But France will be in turmoil for a bit. And I'm going to suspect that the right-wing party, the far right-wing party, will take control. And this woman, Le Pen, will probably be the new president there. And then Macron will be out. And then France will, if she keeps her promises, now that's the thing. Once you get into power, you got to keep these promises. Will she close down these mosques? Will she deport these people? That's another story. The talk is the talk. We've heard talk from Donald Trump for 12 years. He hasn't done shit. Let's see if this woman does. All right, that's my 2 cents. Thank you again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Be careful out there, my friends. Satan is always busy. Be a man. Have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you later.